I was 9 years old. I was cleaning toilets and for a dorm of 100 boys.
Jensen is here, of course, the CEO of Nvidia.
Nvidia became the first company ever to hit a market value of $4 trillion.
Check out Nvidia because
it just continues to go higher. It is opening at a $5 trillion market cap.
This is the clear winner of every winner.
But there is something about him that you probably haven't heard.
Everybody had knives. Everybody smoked. Turned out he was in a knife fight, and my parents thought, probably isn't safe for the kids to be here.
Over the past 2 months, we listened to every podcast, read everything about him that we could find, to try and understand his motivations, goals, and his character. And believe us, it wasn't easy for the reasons you'll soon understand.
You're not talking to somebody who woke up a loser.
Okay, I'll move on. I just want to make sure
you don't have to move on. I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
I was born in Taiwan, but my dad had a job in Thailand. You know how Thailand, every so often, they would just have a coup. The military would have an uprising. And all of a sudden, one day, there were tanks and soldiers in the streets. And my parents thought, probably isn't safe for the kids to be here.
So it's 1972, and 9-year-old Jensen Huang and his brother just arrived in America.
And so the two of us came to the United States. And we stayed with our uncle for a little bit while he looked for a school for us. And that school turned out to have been in Oneida, Kentucky.
His parents thought that they were enrolling him into a prestigious boarding school.
And so we showed up. My first thought was, gosh, there are a lot of cigarette butts on the ground. 100% of the kids smoked. And the second thing I noticed when you walk into your dorm room is there are no drawers and no closet doors, just like a prison. There are no locks so that people could check up on you.
And just like in a prison, all of the students had jobs. Jensen's brother worked at a tobacco farm, and Jensen got an easier job.
I used to clean toilets. I cleaned a lot of toilets. I've cleaned more toilets than all of you combined. and some of them just can't unsee.
This ability of working extremely hard would later serve him tremendously.
I work from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, and I work 7 days a week. When I'm not working, I'm thinking about working. And when I'm working, I'm working. I was born with the work gene, the suffering gene. But anyways, I was the youngest kid in school. My memories of it was really good. But it was a tough town. Yeah, town kids, everybody had knives. Everybody smoked. My roommate was 17 years old. Yeah, he just turned 17. And he was jacked. And so I go into my room and, get ready for bed. And he had all this tape all over his body. And turned out he was in a knife fight. And he's been stabbed all over his body, and these were just fresh wounds. And the other kids were hurt much worse.
And so he's away from his parents in a foreign country surrounded by troubled kids and violence, and he's 9 years old. How did that influence him? It's genuinely hard to tell. On one hand, he's this shy, nerdy guy, but like always, it's more complicated. In his company, he's known for his aggressive outbursts.
I don't like giving up on people because I think they could improve. People know that I'd rather torture them into greatness.
He hates being psychoanalyzed and asked biographical questions, especially those that illuminate his mental state. So maybe the school affected him after all. But then, his parents came to the US, he moved out of the school and got a job at a Denny's restaurant. By the way, remember this restaurant chain for later.
Welcome to Denny's. I think it's really great. We're looking good.
Then I had plenty of other jobs, and Denny's was one of them. And I started out as a dishwasher and became a busboy and became a waiter. And I loved every one of them. I loved every one of them.
So, how does he go from cleaning up leftovers to building the biggest company in the world?
I kind of remember my mom always just telling me that you're incredibly smart. And whether that was actually true or not, the fact that my mom kept saying it over and over again probably was helpful. It put a burden on me to need to be smart.
Huang graduated from Oregon State University with a degree in electrical engineering, and then proceeded to get another degree from Stanford.
After that, he gets a job.
I was completely dedicated and focused on helping LSI Logic be the best company it could be. And I was LSI Logic's best ambassador. It led me to meeting Chris and Curtis and Andy Bechtolsheim and John Rubinstein and some of the most important people in the world.
Chris and Curtis became his best friends, and soon they began to dream about starting their own business.
So the idea for Nvidia was first discussed in 1993 in a Denny's in Silicon Valley. And a few questions here. So first off, why Denny's?
Why not Denny's? Denny's happened to be near Jensen's home. We were all working at the time trying to figure out what this company we wanted to start was going to be about. And Denny's had this nice feature for about to be unemployed people, endless cup of coffee. We would drink coffee for hours, not eat much food, and talk through our strategies.
And at Denny's, they created the biggest company ever, Nvidia.